Hi there, I'm Matt Jennings, chef owner of Farmstead and La Laiterie here in Providence, Rhode Island. Today we're going to take you through a little demonstration on how to make some cornbread, sausage, and tart cherry stuffing. It's a very simple recipe and with delicious results. We've started with some cornbread that's been cubed up into about half-inch pieces and has already been toasted in the oven to get it a little bit dry. The secret to this recipe really is the quality of ingredients that are getting put into it. So don't skimp on a bad cornbread recipe. If you need a good one, let me know. Into this cornbread recipe, there's also going to be going some toasted pecans, which we have going here on the stove. This can be done in the oven as well, but for this case, we're going to use the pan today. Nuts have their own natural oils, so we don't need to put any oil in that pan. We're just going to go straight in with the nuts and release a lot of those flavors and kind of build the components of the dish a little bit more by bringing out the kind of toasty flavors of the nut. So we've got our cornbread here, the nuts are going. I'm just going to turn those down a little bit. Also in this recipe we've got a little bit of leeks, celery, and onion that are all going to get sautéed and tossed into that. I'm going to start in my pot here with a little bit of butter. And we're going to get that butter going. We don't want to brown it, but you want to just basically sweat it out. Melt it down. And we're going to go in with the celery. It's kind of a nice small dice on the celery. You want to try and keep all the vegetables in this cornbread recipe kind of cut on the smaller side. Celery is the firmer of the vegetables that are going into this, so we want to start with that and let that cook out a little bit, sweat, and then we're going to add the leeks and the onions to that. So we've got that celery going. Going to add some nice diced onion. What is stuffing without some onion in it? Give that a minute to go, and then we're going to add our leeks last. Nice little handful. Okay, now while these sweat out on the stove, you're going to want to get some dried cherries going. And by that I mean you're going to take some dried cherries that you buy and get them macerating in a pot. Maceration is basically rehydrating those dried cherries. So there's going to be a little bit of sugar in that pot and a little bit of water, probably just about a half-inch or so. And you're going to want to toss those over a really low flame to get those to plump up again. So I've already kind of had those going a little bit earlier. You can see them here. Now they're nice and plump, juicy, and those are going to end up in this stuffing as well. So the leeks, celery, and onion mixture has been sweating out for a little while now. We're going to add some sausage to that. We've got some beautiful sausages that we've made in-house here at La Laiterie. It's pork-based sausage. This is an herb sausage, so very simple, very clean flavors, but it's going to be nice to kind of pull the whole recipe together. So we're going to just actually split that right in half. If you're buying sausages from the supermarket, you want to look for probably sausages that are around 6 ounces or so, 4 to 6 ounces a piece, and that's really all you're going to need for this recipe. But the most important part is that we want to take that meat out of the casing and kind of saute it all with the vegetables. Okay, now we've got that mixture going of the vegetables that we've been sweating out, and also that sausage. And while we don't need to brown the sausage off completely, we do need to cook it through, obviously. So that mixture with the sausage and the vegetables is all sweated out. Sausage is nice and cooked through. And we're going to go ahead and add that right to our cornbread. You might notice that I haven't been seasoning this as we go, and that's actually because that sausage has already been seasoned when we made it, so I don't want to make it too salty. So we're going to season it at the very end and adjust it as necessary. So we're going to add that sausage and sweated vegetable mixture right to the cornbread. Now we've got those pecans that I was toasting off earlier. We're going to add those to the mixture as well. These can be chopped up if you prefer. If you prefer them in smaller pieces, you can do that before you toast them. We've left some whole today, as well as chopped some up. Now I have an essential ingredient for the stuffing is going to be chicken stock. If you don't have a good quality chicken stock at home, you can use vegetable stock or any other type of stock, but chicken stock is really the best for this. And I'm going to actually add it back to that pot that I was sautéing the sausage in to warm it up. Also to get all those nice little brown bits of fond off the bottom of the pot that accumulated when we were sautéing the sausage. Just a little bit of that. While that chicken stock is cooking down a little bit, we're going to add our sour cherries. Not going to need too much. They are sweet, so you don't want to overpower the stuffing with it. Another absolutely necessary ingredient for this dish is herbs. I'm a big proponent of using fresh herbs, as well as things like vinegars and things that will kind of elevate the dish to the next level, give it a little bit of a zing to it. So we're adding a chopped herb mixture today that includes thyme, rosemary, a little bit of oregano, chopped parsley, and I think that's about it actually. So, and that will go. You always want to make sure you're adding herbs at the last minute too. You want to maintain the flavor, the fresh flavors that they have, and oftentimes cooking with them, they're going to get a little bit of a bitter taste. All right, so that chicken stock is cooking down, and we're going to add that right to the cornbread. You need to moisten this stuffing a little bit. Obviously, you don't want a very dry stuffing when you make it. That's probably just right. So we're going to go ahead and toss that all together. You can see the sausage pieces, the nuts, the tart cherries, the herbs in there. I might actually even add a little bit more herbs. Why not? All right, so that's our sausage stuffing mixture right there. The last thing, of course, very important, is that we go back and adjust the seasoning. So we're using a really nice quality kosher salt. A little bit of cracked black pepper. Toss that together again. All right, now's the moment of truth. Oh yeah. It's really delicious. You get a little bit of the sweet, a little bit of the savory, and if you're using a really nice quality cornbread, that real delicious kind of corn flavor comes right through. If you're going to finish this, there's a couple different ways you can do it. My preference is to finish it basically in a casserole dish. So we pour that right into the casserole. Kind of spread it out all nice. Make sure it's all even. That looks good, huh? So if you're going to finish this in the oven, in the casserole dish, you can start it at 325. Probably take it for about 15-20 minutes, just until it's heated through. And then if you're like me and you like a crusty top, take that tin foil off, turn the oven up a few degrees, probably about 350, 375, and leave it in there for another 10 minutes or so it gets that nice crusty golden color on the top. If you are going to use this recipe for the holidays and you want to use it in a bird, stuff it into a bird, we can provide that information for you as well on the website. That is cornbread, tart cherry, pecan, and sausage stuffing.